This is Rosen Institute's Your Law Firm, where Ned Days and Lee Rosen cover management, marketing, finance, and new technologies for building the practice you deserve. Rosen Institute members received this episode early, as well as exclusive segments on what your why is, and an answer to a member question about how employees view their boss. Get access to everything you're missing at roseninstitute.com/join. Here's Lee Rosen.
It's good to be with you from Lijiang in China's Yunnan province. We're here visiting what are actually UNESCO World Heritage Villages. There are 3 of them with over 800 years of history. This is a major stop on the ancient Tea Horse Road where traders carried tea from Yunnan to Tibet on horseback. The Naxi people have been here for centuries, and their culture is a blend of Han Chinese, Tibetan, and Bai. There are influences here unlike anything else in the world. There are cobblestone streets, there are timber houses built without blueprints, there's a canal system that has been flowing since the Song dynasty. And the Naxi, they developed one of the last hieroglyphic writing systems that's still in existence today on Earth. Only a handful of the elders can still read it. This culture has survived Mongol invasions, Chinese dynasties, and now millions of tourists a year, and it's still here, and it's still distinctly itself. But when you walk away from these historic villages, just 2 minutes from the ancient streets, a robot will deliver your room service in your hotel. Every car on the street is electric. The air is clean. The technology is years ahead of what most of us are living with at home. You hear people say that in China, you're living 10 years in the future at prices that are 10 years in the past. Lijiang, it proves it. And behind all of that is this gigantic snow-capped mountain, Jade Dragon Snow Mountain, over 18,000 feet, just looming there, reminding you just how small everything human really is. And I'll be honest, standing here, it gets to me a little. I spent a year building what I hoped would be institutions, and it makes me wonder, will anything that I built be here in 800 years? Probably not. But here's what the Naxi figured out that maybe we haven't. They didn't survive 800 years by resisting change. They survived by absorbing it, by taking what came from the outside, by making it their own, by never letting go of what made them them. Their identity, it wasn't fragile. It was strong enough to bend. I think about that a lot for our profession. We hold on so tight to the way we've always done things, and we call it tradition. But real tradition, it isn't rigid. The firms that will still matter 20 years from now, they aren't the ones that preserved the old way. They're the ones that were strong enough in who they are to evolve without losing themselves. So the question from Lijiang is simple. Is your firm's identity strong enough to change?
It's time for your tech tip. I don't make much of a secret of the fact that grocery shopping is my favorite and frankly my only hobby. And I realized this weekend as I was doing the shopping that I am exactly like the store employee handing out free samples, except that instead of tiny little thimbles of granola or trail mix, I have not 3, not 4, or even 5, but 6 tiny little tools or apps for you to try. First up is prompturls.com. If you use AI chatbots like ChatGPT or Claude, which I'm sure you do, you have probably had moments where you've typed in a really great prompt and thought, I need to share this with the world. I truly am a genius. Prompt URLs lets you type in a prompt once and then instantly generates shareable links that open it pre-filled in ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, Perplexity, Grok, and a bunch of others. You paste in your prompt, it spits out one-tap URLs for a bunch of platforms, and you can even generate a shortened link to text or email to someone. No sign up, no data stored, it's completely free. Now, I will say this, if you are at the point where you are regularly sharing prompts with your team, you should probably be building out something a bit more robust than copying and pasting URLs. I used to recommend GPTs or GEMs, but that is so 15 minutes ago. Skills are the new hotness. But if you just need a quick way to hand somebody a prompt that opens right up in their chatbot of choice, this does the job in about 30 seconds. Next is RocketShare.app. This is a file sharing service, and what caught my eye about this one is the approach to security. Files are encrypted in your browser before they ever leave your device, and the decryption key is embedded in the share URL itself. That means that even RocketShare can't see what you are sending. It's zero-knowledge encryption. The free tier is quite generous, and it gives you 4 gigs of monthly transfers with files that expire after 7 days, and the paid plans go up from there with more storage and longer expiration windows. Their basic $3 a month plan is likely going to be sufficient for most people who find this kind of thing useful. Now, hopefully you have a secure way to share documents through your practice management or file management system already. But if your portal is clunky, or you need to send something large to somebody outside of your system in a hurry, this is about as painless as it gets. They have a security white paper you can read to make sure that you are comfortable with the process, but let's be honest, you are just going to feed that to Claude for a summary and call it good enough. All right, number 3, Poppy. This one is absolutely silly and I love/hate it. Poppy turns your contacts into a little animated garden. You add the people you want to stay in touch with, you set how often you would like to reach out to each one, and the app reminds you when someone is due for a call or a coffee. When you do reach out, you log it and your little garden thrives. People move back and forth in the garden depending on how long it's been. If you neglect your people, the garden wilts. It's basically a way to turn your referral sources into one of those Tamagotchi keychain toys from my teenage years. It is so silly that I hesitate to mention this one, especially since it looks like some kind of vibe-coded nonsense. It doesn't even have a proper domain name, but one of the most common things I hear from lawyers is that they know they should be staying in touch with referral sources and professional contacts, but that they don't have a simple system for it. Your CRM might do this, but if you aren't using one or if it's overkill for just tracking who you should call this week, Poppy is free, and it says that it stores everything locally on your device and doesn't upload any of your contacts anywhere. And with a website like poppy-connection-keeper.netlify.app, I am not going to second guess it. This one is an iOS app only right now, so you will probably have more luck just searching for Poppy Connection Keeper in the App Store. There is a wait list for the Android version. I am guessing the developer is waiting for his Claude Code credits to refresh for the week so that he can finally publish to the Play Store. Number 4 is Ghost Desk. This one is Windows only. As we rely more and more on AI assistants for real-time help throughout the day, there is an increasingly awkward problem if you do a lot of screen sharing. You are on a Zoom call, you need to quickly ask ChatGPT something, but everybody on the call can see your screen, and maybe you don't want them to see you asking what kind of medical condition your colleague has that makes him keep repeating the same question after you've already answered it a dozen times. Ghost Desk is an AI overlay that floats on top of whatever you are working on, but it is completely invisible during screen shares, Zoom calls, team meetings, and screen recordings. It uses a Windows API that excludes it from the screen capture pipeline entirely. You can chat with it, send it screenshots, you can even use live voice transcription. During the launch period, Ghost Desk is free. After that, the plans start at $15 a month, or they have a lifetime license available for $99. And this one is available at ghost-desk.app. Next up is Postmarker, and because of course we are leaving out some vowels so that we could actually find a domain name, you are looking for postmarkr.com. You upload a PDF, you enter a recipient address, you pay, they print it, stamp it, and mail it via USPS first class mail. That is it. A one-page black and white letter costs $1.50, color is $1.75. Each additional page is 20 to 40 cents depending on whether it is black and white or color. Every letter includes USPS tracking, addresses are verified before you pay, and if something gets lost, they resend it for free. You hopefully have a mailing and postage solution already, but as we increasingly work from home and from the road and from wherever, having a quick way to fire off a letter without having to find a printer and an envelope and a stamp is very handy. Now, supposedly they have certified mail coming soon, which is obviously more useful in the legal space. But the great thing is there is no subscription, no minimum. It is all pay as you go. And finally is a Chrome extension called Web Clipper for Notebook LM. I talk about Google's Notebook LM nonstop, and they keep adding awesome features, not to mention that you can now use a notebook as a source in a Gemini chat or as a data store for a gem. Notebook LM already makes it pretty easy to paste in various sources for your knowledge base, but this extension makes it trivial to save whatever you are looking at on the web directly into a notebook without leaving the page. Where it really shines, though, is with the sources that would otherwise be a pain to import. You can clip X posts and threads. It automatically assembles the full thread into a single source. It does the same with Reddit discussions. It grabs posts, top comments, and replies. You can put in YouTube videos, playlists, even entire channels can be imported with built-in duplicate detection. You can also manage your notebooks directly from the extension side panel without ever opening Notebook LM itself. And on the output side, it lets you export the artifacts that Notebook LM generates, your infographics, videos, reports, and more, in formats that are ready for other tools, which makes it a lot easier to share. It is free to install with basic features. The paid plans are $5 a month, and there is also a lifetime option for $100. I've been using the free plan, and it's been perfectly sufficient for me. I'm Ned Days, and that's your tech tip. And now for your moment of concise advice. I talk to lawyers with problems, and it's rare that there isn't some reasonably decent assessment of at least some of the core issues of the problems. There are, though, occasionally those who are absolutely certain that they have figured out the source of all their woes. Half of them point to their clients, and the other half point at their team, and this could be the lack of a team as well. And both groups are absolutely certain that if they could just change that one thing, life would get better. Let's look at the two scenarios. You are running the show by yourself. You are doing everything. Every client has your cell number. They call you at dinner. They call you on weekends. They send emails at midnight expecting a response by morning. You are drowning in their neediness, their emotions, their endless questions. And you think, if I could just hire some people to handle all this, I could finally have some breathing room. So you hire, and for a month or two, you are not only on overload from everything you had going on before, but you are trying to train a new person and get him or her up to speed. But usually, after that setup period, there is a honeymoon, and for a little while, at least, it feels like some freedom. Then the reality sets in. Now you have an assistant or an associate who ghosted a client for 4 days. You have a staff member who said something careless on the phone, something that you assumed normal, well-adjusted people would realize was rude and keep their yaps shut. Maybe you have two employees who can't stand each other and you are now somehow the mediator. Maybe one was actually responsible for getting the other one the job because they used to be friends, but now the first one has turned into some weird petty tyrant behind the scenes and is emotionally and verbally abusing the other one and threatening to get her fired. Not that I have ever run into anything like that myself, of course. You are spending your days managing personalities instead of doing the work that you are actually good at. And you think, if I could just get rid of these people and go back to handling a smaller caseload myself, life would be so much simpler. Some of you have been riding the ebb and flow of this current for years. Solo to team, team back to solo, bigger team, smaller team, blow it up and start over. I've watched people do this for decades now. They just keep swinging back and forth. It's the grass is greener mentality. You project your unhappiness onto whatever is closest and convince yourself that the other option would fix everything. But it's not a strategic evaluation. It is an escape fantasy. You are not choosing a better model. You are just running from whatever hurts today. And when you get to the other side, you discover that it has its own pain, a different pain, but pain all the same. So let's reframe this choice. You are never choosing between problems and no problems. That choice does not exist. You are choosing which problems you are willing to tolerate. Every business model comes with a characteristic set of headaches. Solo practice, your problems are capacity, client dependency, and sometimes an income ceiling. Have a team, your problems are hiring, training, delegation, communication breakdowns, and the occasional employee who just doesn't work out, or maybe ends up being a complete dumpster fire even after they have worked with you for years. Those aren't bugs, those are features of the model you selected. They come with the package. The question you should be asking yourself isn't, how do I get rid of my problems? It's, which problems am I willing to have? Now, not all problems are created equally. If the challenges you are facing are new, things that you have never navigated before, That is almost always a sign of growth. You have leveled up in some way. You are in unfamiliar territory because you have moved forward. The discomfort you're going through isn't dysfunction, it is the friction of progress. But if your problems are the same ones that you had 3 years ago, the same cash flow crunch every quarter, the same type of employee meltdown, the same client complaints about communication, that is not growth, that is a rut. You haven't moved, you've just been busy. There is a massive difference between being busy and making progress. New problems generally mean you are climbing. Recycled problems mean that you're on a treadmill. Sometimes the clients really are terrible. Sometimes the employee genuinely isn't the right fit and no amount of coaching will fix it. Those situations are real and I'm not dismissing them. But when you keep running into the same kinds of problems, no matter who is on your team or who is in your client roster, it's worth asking whether there is a common denominator that you have been overlooking. Your avoidance of difficult money conversations, your reluctance to build real systems, your refusal to let go of control, your unwillingness to fire the person you should have fired 6 months ago, these patterns follow you from model to model. Switching from solo to team and back again doesn't fix any of that. It just gives you a new venue in which you can showcase the old bad habits. So what do you do when you feel that urge to blow everything up and start over? Well, I would encourage you to stop and to ask yourself one question. Am I making a strategic decision or am I just trying to escape discomfort? Because those are very different things. If you have a clear picture of the business you are trying to build, use that as your filter. Are the problems you are dealing with right now the kind of problems that come with the business you want? If they are, then don't run from them. Solve them, get better at them, and develop systems for them. Look at the problem that is most responsible for driving you crazy right now and ask yourself, is this new or have I been here before? If it's new, that's growth. If it's a rerun, stop and ask what you have been avoiding. Maybe it's a conversation that you need to have. Maybe it is a system you need to build. Maybe it is a decision that you've been putting off for months. Pick one thing, the one thing that you have been dodging, and handle it this week. The urge to start over feels exciting. It feels like a fresh beginning, but it is almost always more expensive in time, money, and momentum than the discipline of fixing what you've already built. Starting over means that you lose what you've learned in this version of your business. You lose the institutional knowledge, you lose the relationships, and you end up 18 months later with a different set of problems that aren't any easier than the ones you left behind. The goal was never to reach some magical place where nothing goes wrong. That place doesn't exist. The goal is better problems, problems that come from growth, from ambition, from building something that actually matters to you. If your problems are getting harder, if you are dealing with challenges that you've never faced before, if the complexity of your business is increasing because you are doing more for more people in a bigger way, congratulations. That discomfort you feel is the price of admission for the next level. So stop chasing a business with no problems and start choosing which problems are worth having, and then get really, really good at solving them. That's your moment of concise advice.
Thanks for spending a few minutes with me and Ned today. We hope you have a great weekend and an even better week next week. Keep plugging away, moving forward, and getting things done. You're on the right track. You'll get there, I promise. We're all in this together, and together we build better practices through better marketing, better management, and better technology. Until next time, I'm Lee Rosen.
Thanks for listening to Your Law Firm. Subscribe to the Friday File at roseninstitute.com and join thousands of other lawyers who are working on instead of in their businesses. You'll find safe, successful, actionable approaches for transforming your practice. Join us today at roseninstitute.com.